So Ember has gotten more and more attention, and curious new folks are coming around to see what the new game is all about. Now, we haven't had a good overview of the game in a while, so I decided to put together a string of videos to introduce newcomers to the game and the key concepts behind it. Now, keep in mind, we are just in the pre-alpha stage of the game, focusing on concepts, designs, and core artwork for the game. Gameplay is coming soon in a vertical slice demo that we are putting together for our next fundraiser on Kickstarter. So let's get started. Ember is an open-world co-op shooter with a persistent world that grows over time as players unlock more and more of the world. The central theme of the game is war and invasions, where there are always massive battles to fight against the ancient and evil race called shifters. The goal is to have hundreds of players fighting at a time against a horde of aliens and giant monsters called kaiju, who launch regular invasions against the players and the zones they have unlocked and the bases they have built in the progress of the game. These massive battles feel a little bit like Planetside or Battlefield, but with the twist of fighting against giant creatures that tower over the players and who rip apart buildings with their bare claws. Players pilot small exosuits, or light mechs, giving the game a mech versus kaiju theme reminiscent of Pacific Rim or the anime Attack on Titan. The main protagonists of the game are the Gatestriders, a nomadic race of frontier people whose recently destroyed homeworld have forced them to search for a new one. They arrive on Ember, a frozen yet volcanic wasteland, and begin to mine and colonize it, terraforming the dark frozen landscape into progressively more livable and brighter areas while establishing colonies and bases throughout each zone they unlock through their terraforming. But all that human activity has disturbed an ancient time lock on this planet, one created to imprison the shifters forever and prevent them from escaping and invading the rest of habitable space. Time vortexes appear, and the shifters pour out of them, attacking in massive waves as they seek to free themselves completely and escape the planet. Players pilot Omniframes as their main weapon. These are mechs armed with a vast array of customizable weaponry and special abilities. Players have a blank slate when creating their Omniframe mech. They choose which abilities and which weapons to equip on their frames to match their playstyle. There are very few restrictions on these builds, which loosely categorize into light, medium, and heavy style frames. Players can build and collect as many frames as they like, customizing them for different roles. There are two main gameplay themes in Ember. You can jump into instant action as there is always an invasion happening somewhere in the world, or you can opt for a less frenetic activity like base building, resource gathering, and crafting. Crafting is a huge part of the game. Everything in the game is crafted, from the player's Omniframes to the weapons and even abilities of their frames, all the way to the massive bases that help defend against kaiju invasions. To craft, you need resources. Players have mining mechs, sort of like pets which have their own AI and personality, to help with the mining of precious ore from the planet's surface. Mining is a dangerous activity, with the disturbance caused by drilling attracting hordes of alien enemies that attack in waves. Mining resources is a game of itself, where you can push your luck, staying longer to mine better and more resources so long as you can defend your mining mech against increasingly tougher waves of enemies. Hunting and fighting kaiju is another valuable way to gain resources. Downing a huge kaiju will let players strip it of valuable parts that can either be researched or sold on the black market. We hope you enjoyed this brief look into Ember. Stay tuned for our regular video updates about the game, as well as more in-depth videos on the different activities and features of Embers that we'll be revealing over time. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe below, and we'll see you again next week.